Phase 4 of the MCU has gotten off to a terrific start, but there are already certain moments we'd rather forget. This first period of the multiverse saga has laid the foundation for the future MCU storyline. It's lacking, though, in ways that might make it forgettable, because even though it began with a bang, nothing is perfect. So in this video, we're going to talk about 10 things from the MCU Phase 4 that have already aged poorly. First off, at number 10, throughout Multiverse of Madness, Wanda completely avoided mentioning Vision. Despite living up to the anticipation, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness wasn't without its critics. Fans, for example, were furious that Wanda only had her children as a driving force. It's strange that she never even brings up the synthezoid that she had to kill in order to rescue the world, even though this makes sense, especially in the context of a true comic adaptation. Wanda reduced herself to the position of a mother, never mentioning Vision by name or even taking him into account during her extensive quest across multiple dimensions for her family. It also undervalues WandaVision's love story and downplays Vision's significance in Wanda's life. The comics showed him as an important figure in her life, but the on-screen depiction disregarded his importance entirely. At number 9, Cersei and Icarus's scene was especially uncomfortable. When they're granted the freedom to do anything they want in Eternals around the 30-minute mark, Icarus seizes the chance to confess his love for Cersei, and then their conversation develops into an exceedingly awkward scene in which they're both sprawled out in the sand. Not exactly the romantic scene we had in mind. This one was pretty much without any chemistry between the two characters. It goes without saying that no one in the audience anticipated a complete scene in a PG-13 film, but the awkward placement of the sequence and the lack of chemistry between Richard Madden and Gemma Chan made it one of the most uncomfortable parts of the MCU. Even though it only lasted 20 seconds, it seemed so much longer. At number 8, despite the criticism, She-Hulk's CGI never got any better. Fans were dissatisfied with the show's visual development when Disney Studios originally debuted the She-Hulk Attorney-at-Law teaser. The Uncanny Valley nightmare was supposed to be fixed for the actual series, according to those who were still anticipating the movie, but that didn't happen, sadly. She-Hulk was ultimately praised as one of the best MCU TV series, although the CGI issues remained. Fans still hope that Shulky's time in the universe will continue, given Tatiana Maslany's outstanding performance and Jessica Gao's writing. She'll hopefully look way better in her upcoming appearances. Her character's pretty popular, and this lack of focus on the CGI effects isn't helping boost her role. Next up at number 7, the Multiverse of Madness didn't have as many dimensions as everyone thought. Audiences anticipated that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness would explore a variety of realms after the amazing teamwork of the 3 Peter Parkers in Spider-Man No Way Home. We were all in awe of how it was portrayed, with people from all dimensions connected in some way. That one scene near the end was enough to leave us dying of curiosity about what would happen after that. But sadly, the movie only touched on a few of them, concentrating on Earth 838. Regardless, the movie was fantastic. It established the foundation for longer storylines, while introducing new characters and surprising cameos for the fans. It was hardly multiversal or insane, though, for a multiverse of lunacy. Given that it was only the second movie in which the universe was given substantial consideration in the MCU, it makes sense, but fans are still unsatisfied. Let's keep hope that in the future, they might give us something something worth the wait and the hype. The multiverse is sure to shake some lives. What with it being all like magic. At number 6, for the sake of a wacky joke, WandaVision hyped the audience. Wanda's twin brother, Pietro Maximoff, was recast as Evan Peters on a very special episode, the 5th one of WandaVision. Fans thought the MCU would finally tie in with the X-Men movies because Peters already plays this character in the X-Men film series. But it was later discovered that Ralph Bohner, a Westview resident who was charmed by Agatha, played Peters' part. Beyond the meta reference, Evan Peters' character was a misdirection that had nothing to do with his portrayal of Quicksilver in the 20th Century Fox films. Plus, what fans believed to be a preview of the multiverse Disney had promised turned out to be a simple joke. Imagine our disappointment. At number 5, only after her death did Black Widow have her chance to shine in a solo. Black Widow, Natasha's standalone film, was the first installment of Phase 4 of the MCU and was eagerly anticipated by viewers for more than 10 years. The film, which is set after the events of Captain America: Civil War, explores Natasha's past, giving her character a more complete arc than any other film has, and expanding the number of accomplishments she has achieved. Although Natasha's existence before the Avengers was beautifully shown in Black Widow, several viewers thought the film came out too late. In Avengers Endgame, Black Widow felt like a consolation gift after Natasha passed away. It's unfortunate that she could only appear in her movie after her stint in the MCU had ended. She was hands down one of the coolest characters in the group, and we believe that her story should have been told in depth earlier. Her death would have hit even closer to home if we'd grown more attached to her. Moving on, at number 4, fans continue to believe that T'Challa should be recast. Kevin Feige publicly said that Marvel Studios won't recast the part following the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman out of respect for his work. Audiences have since questioned who will take on the role of Black Panther. They now know that Shuri, T'Challa's sister, is most likely to come next. But some fans who believe T'Challa's time in the MCU wasn't done have been pushing Marvel Studios to recast Black Panther. They think MCU is terminating Boseman's legacy by killing off his character. It's too soon to determine if this was the right move, because Wakanda Forever won't air until November. And while we understand the sentiment behind seeing your favorite character die, we also understand the MCU trying to preserve Boseman's legacy. Now that the movie is set to air this year, we can only wait and see what effects it has. At number 3, Christian Bale's performance as Gore, the God Butcher, was unjustly underused. Fans were ecstatic when it was revealed that Christian Bale would play Gore, the God Butcher, in Thor: Love and Thunder. A performance to remember was promised thanks to Bale's acting abilities and Gore's progressive role, but sadly, he was regrettably not given a real opportunity to excel in the part. Despite Christian's gut-wrenching performance, his character was shown as weak because of a lack of screen time in the movie. Gore hardly ever murdered any gods on screen, even though he was literally a god butcher. His backstory was changed as well, making him far less frightening than his comic book counterpart. Fans believe that this was a wasted chance for a historic performance as a result. We were promised a god butcher, but sadly, what we saw on screen was someone who wasn't even worthy of the title. At number 2, fans were not excited about all these new cast members in Eternals. The Chloe Zhao film was one of the major introductions in Phase 4. The Eternals, a new super team, were introduced in this movie, in contrast to earlier stages, which focused on the same individuals. They're a group of Homo Immortalis, made by the Celestials to guard Earth against the Deviants. Around a dozen new characters characters from the MCU were introduced in the film, and they were represented by well-known performers like Salma Hayek, Richard Madden, and Angelina Jolie. None of these individuals, however, truly contributed to the MCU's history. Fans weren't initially captivated by the Eternals, just the way they were by the Avengers, but they now feel like a disjointed part of this cinematic universe. Some of us are still attached to the OG faces and can't seem to accept this addition. Finally, at number 1, Phase 4 of the MCU seems to be going nowhere. She-Hulk, Shang-Chi, Agatha Harkness, and Sylvie are just a handful of the dozens of new characters that Phase 4 of the MCU has introduced as of October 2022. The fans have high hopes for the future of the MCU because of the steady flow of fresh stories. It does appear to be too much sometimes, though. The multiverse saga doesn't follow a defined course, unlike how it was previously. There are new people and new plot threads, but they don't seem to be related. Fans anticipate that Phase 5 will shed new light on the MCU and make its main storyline more understandable, but only time will tell. That's all for this video. Which part from the MCU's current phase is your least favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time.